Hey everyone, welcome to Lab 5. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Before I move on with today's video, there's something that I want to tell you guys. So that is a lot of you have been submitting your labs on time, so that's great, but there are still a few students out there who are submitting their labs late, and they're doing that without any prior knowledge to me or Alex. So, just for future reference, we know that this is a very stressful time for a lot of us. And if you are unable to complete your labs on time, just send an email to Alex and I, and we'll look at a way to provide you an extension, but it has to be a valid reason. And I just hope there are a couple of students who are sending an email after the deadline has been passed. So just a small reminder not to do that, or else I'll be compelled to apply the late submission penalty, and I do not want to deduct points from your labs. I want all of you to get an A here. So please cooperate and keep that in mind. Okay, we've got a long lab ahead, so please bear with me. Let's go ahead and open a new map in ArcGIS Pro, but before that, let's navigate to where we've saved our data for lab 5. So I'm gonna go ahead and unzip it. So right click, extract all. You guys probably know this by heart now. So I'm gonna click on ArcGIS Pro and open a new project. Just gonna give it a name. Make sure I am storing it in my preferred location. And the next drill is, oops. Okay, give it some time. Okay, so the next step is to add folder connection. Navigate to lab 5 again. Data, okay. Let's expand that. Let's load in our data. So you can see point features and also polygons shapefile here that indicates counties and weather stations respectively. So our first step is to do a definition query so that we only filter out the active weather stations in Utah. So right click, do properties, do a definition query. This is something similar to what we did in our first lab. So we're gonna select our field as active_INA, which is equal to active. I'm gonna apply, do OK. So if you open the attribute table, like before you carry out the definition query, you're going to see the field names at the top. The first row is always dedicated to field names. And this field right here shows the status of the weather station. So as you can see, we performed the definition query, so we only have the active weather stations here listed. So that's been done correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and save my project. Excuse me. So the next step is to play around with select by attribute to only have weather stations in the SNOWTEL network. So go to your map, select the weather station layer, and do select by attributes, and your geoprocessing tab is going to pop up. So this is fine. Do a new expression. We're going to do where network is equal to SNOWTEL. There you go. I'm just going to run it. And as you can see, the selected points here those are the weather stations within the Snowtel network. So we want to export this as a new feature class. So right click, go to data, do export feature, and give this a name. So make sure you're saving everything inside your geodatabase. Just easier to navigate, it's much more organized. So if I get rid of this, I only have our desired output. So I'm gonna go ahead and save it. So we want to perform a definition query in our county features now, and we just want these 3 counties to show up. So I'm gonna bring up my counties, and the way you do this is not as straightforward as you did for the stations, because we want to pull out 3 counties. That's 3 polygons, right? So go to properties, do a definition query, and we're gonna do name is equal to, we're gonna change this to includes. So the field name includes all the counties, right? There you go. So we're just gonna check the ones that we need. So that's Cache, Rich, and Weber up north. So apply and do OK. So there you go. You only have these 3 counties showing up. I'm gonna save it. The next step is to only have stations that are active within these 3 counties. So I'm gonna do select by location. So my input feature is gonna be active Snowtel stations. I'm gonna do an intersect or a within, but now intersect is fine, and my selecting feature is going to be counties. So I'm gonna hit run. So there you go. You're gonna see these points highlighted here, and we're gonna export this as a new feature. Give this a name. Okay. So there we go. So yeah, I made a mistake. I was supposed to select this thing. So okay, that's fine. I'm gonna delete this. Remove. So bring up counties again, and do select by location. And this is going to be counties. Make sure that you're selecting the right layer. Previously I was selecting this layer, so that kind of got tricky. And there you go. We're gonna export this now. Give it a name. If you get this error, it's just because that the name already exists. It's just gonna override it. So it's not that big of a deal. So yeah, if I get rid of that, I'm gonna see the active Snowtel stations here. So that's great. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. And we're gonna follow this link because now we're interested in looking at or investigating the data of precipitation that's coming out from each of these weather stations. So If you go ahead and open your attribute table, you're going to see 10 weather stations here. So we're going to add all of these and kind of extract the data for precipitation. So let's do that. So I'm going to click on it, copy. I'm going to paste it here. You're going to see a suggestion drop in the drop down. If I click on it, it's going to be added here. So let's do that for all 9 of them, all 10 of them. Yeah. Okay. I hope all of you were keeping safe from the terrible windstorm event that we had to experience a couple of weeks back. 2020 has been a crazy year. So since I come from the other side of the world, from Nepal, so we have a lot of earthquakes back home. I wasn't expecting one in Utah. I didn't realize that it was like it had a lot of seismic activity. So that was kind of a shocking surprise for me. I don't know if you guys were aware of that. So here's hoping that 2021 is a much healthier, better year. I think a lot of you are graduating, like I saw that a lot of you are seniors. So I'm graduating next year too, so let's hope we have a proper ceremony. Okay, so once these 10 stations are added, we want to make sure that we select the precipitation accumulation variable. Add that, it's going to show up here. Select this and we want to follow our Word document. So we want, so we want water year, we want custom, we want water year, metric, CSV. We want it for like the entire year of 2016. So Jan 1 to December 31. So if you click view report, you're gonna see a new sorry about that, you're gonna see a new window here. So right click, do save as, and save it as a CSV, so .csv. Make sure you're saving it under lab 5. Let's do one for monthly as well. I think everything else is the same. We're interested from October 2015 to September 2016, so September 2016. Okay, great. Let's go ahead and save that too as monthly.csv. Okay, now I want you guys to open both these Excel files. And okay, so this was not saved properly. I'm gonna close that. Okay, this is fine. We want to make sure that this is $69.30. I think I got everything correct. maybe it just didn't save properly. Oh, I didn't view the report. Okay. Oh no. Oh, it should say monthly here. Now, save as to monthly.csv. Yes. Well, let's open it. Okay, yeah, this looks better. So, since since we're gonna import this in ArcGIS Pro, the software is not gonna read in these hashtags. So let's get rid of these. So if you guys use any programming language, we normally use these hashtags to describe a code or a syntax. Okay, paste this here, save it. Same thing, so everything from here on above is deleted. Right click, oops, make sure you commit. Okay. Paste it, save it, close this, close this. Okay, now we're gonna import these. Okay, so we're gonna do add data under map. And let's refresh it. So here you go. I'm gonna add these in. Now we want to make sure that these are exported as geodatabase tables. So right click, give it a name. So give it annual 1. Gonna run it. Same thing. Do a monthly 1. So that's saved under your geodatabase. We can get rid of these two. I'm just gonna remove it. Go ahead and save your work. Now we want to join. So if you open up your annual table, you're gonna see these 5 columns, and if you open this layer, this kind of ends at elevation. So we want to add these 2 tables based on our unique ID, which is the station name. So both of these tables have one similar field name, or here it's station name, and here it's, I think, station underscore NA, which basically means station name. So there you go. We want to make sure we add these. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to do joins and relates, add join. Your geoprocessing tab is going to pop up. So you want to select station NA. And this looks fine. So I'm going to hit run. And now if I open my attribute table, I'm going to see new stuffs attached. So yeah, these 5 columns from annual 1 have been added. So now we want to create a new layout. We want to add our map frame. I want to zoom into this area, so I'm going to right click my map frame, do activate. Make sure that it looks good. Okay, this is a good scale. I'm going to save it. I'm going to exit my activated map frame. I'm going to add all of my north arrow scale bars legends here. Just the usual stuff, guys. But I think the deliverable says that we have to make sure that it's under this projection, and we have to make sure to use proportional symbols to indicate our precipitation accumulation. So First thing, let's go back to our map. Let's check what projection it's under. So right click, properties, coordinate system. So it's under NAP 1983, so that's great. I'm just gonna click OK. And now if the drill is pretty simple, just right click, symbology, do proportional symbols, and select your field as precipitation. And just to work around with this data, and make sure you have everything under your layout. And we also want to go ahead and look at our, so I'm just gonna bring the single symbols back. Yeah. So now we want to make sure that our labels are on, and as you can see, we cannot join in our counties layer with our Snowtail site study area here, because they don't have any overlapping field names. So it's just shape, and that's it, nothing else. So that does not let us to join these two tables. There has to be a unique ID that can help join them. So for your labels, go under labeling, and you should see a label class pop up at the bottom of your catalog pane, and we want to give it an expression. So an example is given here. So we want to make sure that our station name is up. So there is the feature for the station name. This is just pulling out the values, the $sign, and we want our precipitation value. So we're gonna add our precipitation value from this variable here. So double click on it. We want to make sure that the expression is valid. Great, so I'm just gonna hit apply. And once we do that, I'm gonna right click, turn on my labels, and there you go. All the station names and their precipitation. Their annual precipitation. These are in millimeters. Okay, so let's turn on our labels for our counties too. Great, awesome. So I'm gonna save this project. So this is updated here, so just make sure to add your title, legend, all the stuff. So active Snowtail sites in Weber, Cache, and Rich counties. So once you've added all of your north arrows, scale bar, everything, go ahead and export it. Make sure you're saving it wherever you prefer. And once you're done exporting it, make sure you have all your map elements. I didn't have it because I'm just gonna do it really quick. This lab is already long, so make sure you have all of your map elements, your credits. And once that exported, delete this. And now we want to do a relate. So we're going to remove the join and relate the monthly data to each record. And we want to make sure that each point has all of these 12 months of precipitation data, and we want to take a screenshot of that related data. Okay, So I'm gonna go back to my Snowtail site study area. I'm gonna do right click. I'm gonna get rid of my join. So I'm gonna do remove join and I'm gonna run it. So there you go. It's disappeared now, and if you see the attribute table, the precipitation data and everything is gonna disappear. Okay. So we want to add in this data to each point, right? So relate does not have like, it does not give out a new table. It's just like a temporary solution, or it just gives out like a temporary related data output. So we want to right click, do joins and relates again, do add relate. So this is our Snowtail site study area. We want to do station name. We want to do monthly one, and I want to give this any name like precip monthly. So when I hit run, so when that's done, okay. So when that's done, if you open both of these tables, you're not going to see any changes here. So for relates, it's not as straightforward as the join tables, right? So what we want to do now is we want to go ahead and select a point. Okay. And if you go to oh, there you go. Okay, no. Okay, there you go. And I'm gonna right click here. Sorry, I'm gonna click here. I'm gonna do related data, and I'm gonna do my monthly one. That's the table that it's related to. And this is gonna take me to my monthly data table. And this is gonna show me all of my monthly precipitation values for Ben Lomond Trail. So that's done, and let's do a pop-up. So let's do explore, let's do clear. So if I expand this, I'm gonna see the monthly one table show up. I expand it more, then this is gonna give me the value for all the months. This is from October 2015 to September 2016. So I'm gonna take a screenshot of this because this is my third deliverable. Deliverable 3, 5. Okay. Make sure it's saved under lab 5. Okay, I think I saved it under results. Yeah, it's just, I tend to like separate my lab results from my lab files. That's fine. It's okay if you do it like in your same folder. So yeah, we want a screenshot of that. Let's close this one. Let's close the pop-up. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. That's it for lab 5. Thanks for listening to me very patiently. And the other thing I want from you guys is like a short write-up concerning like when we use join versus when we would want to use a relate. So yeah, make sure you have all these three submitted here. You can type this in like a Word document. Um, and that's it for today. I'll see you guys next week for Lab 6. Thank you.